Our special guest today has probably encouraged you about 1,000 times. Every day, he sings songs on Spirit 105.3 like Same God, Graves into Gardens, Sea of Victory, and Rattle. Chris Brown, all the way from Elevation Worship in North Carolina, is with us today. Welcome. How are things in Charlotte? You know, that's where most of my family lives, so Charlotte has a special place in my heart.
Really?
Yes.
Do you ever come out this way?
I do, at least a couple times a year. I wish more, quite frankly.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Things are good here. Weather is perfect right now.
Is it starting to feel like fall just a little bit?
Yes, it is. The weekend was amazing. It was like 75 for a high, waking up to like 58. It was awesome.
You're a family guy. What's your favorite fall thing to do as a family? Like apple picking or just going out for a pumpkin spice latte?
Well, this Saturday, we went to an apple orchard.
Yes.
There are plenty around here. And then we went for like a maybe 2.5-hour hike, which, to be honest, it didn't end well with our kids. It sounded better. I imagined it going much better, but they were exhausted by the end of it. So it ended kind of poorly, but that's okay.
But back to the apple orchard, did they have apple donuts that they make there?
Yes. Apple donuts, apple cider, the whole deal. Like we do that every single year, and then we get to a pumpkin patch and we take pictures, and yes.
It's the best. All right, Chris, I have been learning some really neat things about you. And the first one I really love, you actually grew up in church and your mom played the organ every Sunday. I mean, how did that shape your life?
She sure did. We lived across the street from the church.
Wow.
Physically across the street from the church. So my dad, that was his office every day. He was the worship minister there. And like every day after school, I would go over. We didn't have a piano in our house for maybe the first 10, 12 years of my life. And so I would go over and I'd practice in the choir room, and every single afternoon I'd get on the piano and make up stuff. And then every Wednesday, Mom was like teaching and directing kids choir. And then on Saturday nights, she would go over and she would practice organ before Sunday morning service. And I would always go over with her, me and my sister both. And so, I mean, I was surrounded by music, both from my mom and my dad. My sister's a pianist and loves music. So it was kind of inevitable that that I was going to end up doing something in music. I've always loved it, always been passionate about it, always been surrounded by it. So it was fun having musical parents like that.
I bet. Now, do you feel like you're going to pass this on to your kids? Are they showing any signs of being musical?
I'm trying. They're both in piano lessons. My son loves to drum. He's taken drum lessons about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. We got him a drum kit. And so he's loving that. Neither one of them have shown interest in guitar. They both love to sing. So, yeah, there's definitely hints of it.
Oh, Chris, I love every song that Elevation Worship makes. And Same God is so beautiful. I mean, all of them are good. But I have to tell you, there's this one lyric that just resonates with me, how you all chose to write, I'm calling on the God of Mary. Because usually when we hear about Mary, it's within the context of a Christmas song. But as a woman, that meant so much to me, and it stood out. And I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit.
That's awesome. I'm so happy you said that. Can I tell you a pretty cool story about that? So when we were writing it, we went round and round. Like, we had a lot of different characters or people from the Bible that we thought about writing about. Mary was not in the original take, but we were like, I mean, come on, we could talk about the God of Esther, the God of Deborah.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different ones. And we let it in church without that verse at all. We never in the writing room landed like on the God of Mary because we couldn't figure out how poetically say it, but also not. It just kept feeling a little forced and tongue-in-cheek at first, like on the first draft of the Mary verse. And so we took it to church, and we sang it in church for a few months. After chorus 1, we went straight to the God of David verse. And then Pastor Stephen on a Saturday night, he texted me. He was like, listen, man, my daughter, Abby, she will not let up on the fact that we don't have a woman in this song, and it's such a missed opportunity. And his daughter's 12 years old, and he's like, I've been going round and round on how to word it, and I know we gave it a shot, and we couldn't quite land it, but we got to get back in there. So we went back and forth over text a Saturday night before we were meant to do it in church. Oh, I missed this part.
Yeah.
We had already recorded the song at a worship night, and we were getting ready to send it off to mix. We were very, very far along in like the mixing process. And so we recorded it without the Mary verse. So on this Saturday night, we land on that verse, and we sang it in church the next day, and we pressed record and had a few extra mics in the room. And it went so well, and it felt so perfect, like it was always meant to be there. And then we went back and added that into the song that we had already recorded from what we captured on that Sunday morning. So thank God, as you hear it, most of the song is from a night of worship at the beginning of October, and then that one verse is from a Sunday morning in December some point.
Okay, I love that a 12-year-old girl had influence on this song.
Yep, she sure did.
What does it mean to you, the whole song? I mean, because it fills me with so much courage, Chris, to know that anything is possible with our God. He's the same one that did all of these great things.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I love that, we've had generation after generation of believers who've been seeing firsthand the evidence of God's faithfulness.
Yes.
And have been testifying to it. And so, in my case, we were talking about my parents earlier, my mom and dad raising us in church. Well, my mom's parents were both pastors. Her grandparents were pastors. I have a rich legacy, particularly on her side, of people who have been serving in church. And so, my personal story and testimony is one of, my parents and my grandparents and my aunts and uncles all just telling stories about how God came through, how God provided that one, how God answered those prayers, and they just get passed down generation to generation. And so I think all of us, if we take time, probably could find ourselves somewhere in this story. But I do love how same God is kind of that. It's meant to be that telling of there's such a great cloud of witnesses who throughout history have been calling on God, have been seeing how he has been the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so that song feels like we just stepped into a lot of other people's stories at the same time that we're singing it. And, hopefully we can find ourselves in it, and hopefully it's one that we can pass on courage to our kids and others around us as well. So
I so appreciate what you just said, that we can, pass down those stories of faith in our own family around the campfire, around the Thanksgiving table this year. It's wonderful. It's something we can all do. It's reachable. Mm-hmm. Chris, while we're on the subject of Thanksgiving here, what are you grateful for as you look back on 2022, another kind of weird year, better, but still weird? What are you most grateful for?
Well, I'm thankful for fall.
Yes.
It's my favorite season.
Boom.
I love it to death. I'm thankful for the age my kids are at and the stage that they're in. We're having there's so much curiosity with them right now, and we're having such good conversations, and I'm still cool enough that they want to hang with me. And I don't reckon there's many more years of that to come. So I'm cherishing right now this stage where we're just talking so much, and they love being with me, I should say. I've got the best wife in the world. Oh. I mean, I'm really, really, really blessed as a man, and I'm grateful for, what's happening in our ministry here at church.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Oh, well, you are just amazing. And before I let you go here, I just have to ask you one more question. It is not deep, but I understand, I did a little research that you enjoy shopping for jeans. And I can't let you go without asking this question because I hate shopping for jeans.
Well, I do a lot of online shopping. I do not like going into physical retail stores. So I take full advantage of I'll order jeans, and if they don't work, I'll send them right back. I mean, it's a constant in and out situation, shipping and receiving situation happening at our home because of my jeans and pants love and passion. So, yeah, it's probably a little too much.
No, it's not. It's awesome. And you are. Thank you, Chris, for just putting a voice to the things that we feel. When you end your song, Same God, I'm standing on your faithfulness. Every time, I open the mic after that, and I'm like, he means that. I can hear that. I can feel that. And to play that on the radio and to know how that's affecting other people, just thank you for what you do.
Thank you for saying that. Thanks for having me.
God bless you.
Same.